Hi everybody, welcome to the Janel Burgess Show. I'm DJ Foster, joined by Grand Valley State head women's basketball coach Janel Burgess. Coach, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, you just finished off your only 2 home games in the month of January, so you're on the road the rest of the month. You went 1-1 last week. You defeated Northwood on Wednesday. You fell late to Hillsdale on Saturday in a close game there. Before we break down the games individually, talk about your overall thoughts on the week.
You know, I think as you reflect back on those 2 games, we played extremely tough. Our defense was pretty solid with the exception of a 4-minute segment in the Hillsdale game. And I thought like I said, our effort, our focus has been really, really good. And there's, just a couple little things, here or there, that if we change, especially our turnovers, and then making sure we play consistent defense for an entire 40-minute game, which we have been doing up until that Hillsdale game, we could walk away with 2 wins this past week.
You're now 8-8 overall, 5-4 in GLIAC play after the week. You defeated Northwood on Wednesday, 52-47. You led at halftime by 4. You had a 13-point lead later in the half, and Northwood made it interesting at the end, but you were still always in control. Kara Crawford had a game-high 16 points. Brianna Taylor, 13 points, 8 rebounds. Talk about the victory over the Timberwolves.
I thought with the Northwood game, we did keep composure throughout the entire game. We were up by 13. Northwood made a little push with their press, but I don't know if it was because of their press. I think we became a little hesitant on the offensive in the last 4 minutes of the game, but yet found a way to maintain composure and be able to, I wouldn't say necessarily knock down free throws because our free throw shooting was not that good that game, but be able to make the plays that we needed to. And you mentioned Crawford, Kara Crawford playing so composed in that game, and Brianna Taylor was pretty steady as well. Both of those 2 young ladies have done a good job of kind of being that glue that kind of sticks us together in the sense of offensively and defensively. So when we walked away from that Northwood win, that was a good one for us.
Sure. A
great way to be able to play defense, be able to hold a team again to 47 points is good, and it was a good way for us to head into the Hillsdale game, understanding Hillsdale was going to be a much different style of game than Northwood. And that's kind of what ended up hurting us if you look at the long run, the big picture of the Hillsdale game.
Yeah, you ended up falling 61-57. You led by 3 at halftime, but Hillsdale started off the second half strong. The Taylor twins were terrific, 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 steals for Brianna. Brittany had 12 points, 10 boards, and 4 assists. Tough loss for you at home, especially going on the road again this week, but talk about the game overall.
I just look at that Hillsdale game, and it came down to 4 minutes and 5 seconds, and it was that opening run you talked about when Hillsdale went on a 15-4 run on us. If we would have been able to carbon copy what we had done in the first half and hold them to that 23 points in the second half instead of giving them 38 points is what we gave them in the second half, would have been the difference of the game. And then the other huge factor in that game was the 19 turnovers we had.
Right.
And as we reflected in practice today, in the simple sense of it was turnovers that we created. It wasn't anything Hillsdale was doing spectacular. It was us doing the simple things, taking care of the ball, making sure every pass that you give your teammate is leading them into something successful, opposed to putting them in danger of turning the ball over. And so if we can clean up the turnovers and really go back to playing that 40 minutes of solid defense, obviously, I know the outcome of the Hillsdale game would have been different, and it really kind of gets me fired up to be able to go on the road at Northwood, at Michigan Tech, or not at Northwood, at Northern, at Michigan Tech this next week.
Yeah, the UP trip's always tough, although as I told Rick Wesley earlier, the weather seems like it's better up there, so at least that's the silver lining. Northern Michigan this Thursday at 5:30, then you go farther up north to Michigan Tech on Saturday at 1 o'clock. You played those teams already. You're 1-1. You beat Michigan Tech by, I think, 26 points earlier. You had them on back-to-back days. At least you get a day in between here. They're teams you know well, but it's always hard going up north to play the Upper Peninsula. But talk about the weekend ahead for you.
To be honest, I think I'm more excited than anything to be able to get back with this group. I just like where we're at right now. We are working hard to get better every day, and I can honestly tell you when I get to the practice court and I get done with practice, we are getting better. Now, obviously, we would have loved to beat Hillsdale. We want to go back on the road, and we want to, be able to prove to Northern Michigan that we're better than the 2-point loss that we had against them here at home just a month ago. And just to be able to see the cohesiveness of these young ladies in their eyes right now. They're hungry. And as we continue to build, I know it'll take us a good time to get up to the UP, but I know we'll enjoy the opportunity to compete again.
Well, again, Northern Michigan Thursday at 5:30, Michigan Tech Saturday at 1 o'clock. We wish you the best of luck this weekend, and hopefully it's a great road trip with a couple of wins.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us here on the Grand Valley Sports Network on the Janel Burgess Show.